Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano, and I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is health. Fish specifically. A lot of people love to eat fish. They think they're eating fish because they're eating healthy. They equivocate fish to health. And our doctors are always telling us, eat more salmon, eat more fish, eat more low-fat fish, eat more fish, eat more fish. So we're just brainwashed, or we're taught by people who we think they know what we're talking about to eat fish. And we're taught by our personal trainers at the gym, eat fish, go and get salmon at the store and eat. Well, today's topic, or today's title, is the 7 most toxic fish you should avoid and protect your bone and your health, and what fish you should eat instead. The 7 most toxic fish that you should avoid. Yes, fish can be toxic. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer here. It's so hard to get clean fish to begin with. I'm quoting an article from SaveInstitute.com, and it's Save Our Bones. It's actually SaveOurBones.com. The world, the oceans are just getting so polluted to begin with that what I'm going to read you here, don't think that, because I'm saying that something's better, that it's a great choice to begin with. I personally feel that you should cut all of your fish consumption down. I've cut all of my fish consumption down over the last couple of years, especially since Fukushima happened on the Pacific Ocean, the Gulf oil spill. There's just so many things that are happening in our world today that are polluting our ocean, just throwing garbage in and all the waste that runs off. And look at the dead zone. The dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico is this massive part of the ocean down there, the Gulf, that cannot grow anything because of all the excrement that runs out of all the farms down the Mississippi and all the chemicals that comes out of manufacturing and just gets dumped into the ocean via the Mississippi. And this dead zone just grows. It grows bigger than the BP oil spill ever has. It grows every year on an annual basis, bigger than the BP oil spill ever was. So, but these things aren't talked about. What's talked about is the BP oil spill, but the dead zone is something major, but we're all partly to blame for that because we all eat things, animal agriculture that comes out of the Midwest typically, okay? Where most of us are responsible for that. And the beef industry, the pork industry, the chicken industry, the chemical industry, they have such a stronghold on our government that they're never going to admit and say, well, we should stop doing what we're doing here. No, that's not how that works. So, and worldwide, I mean, look at the Mekong Delta, which farms tons and tons of fish. They supply the majority of the world with fish, the Mekong Delta, and through all of Asia. But in the Mekong Delta, this river is so polluted. People live actually on top of the river, and they don't have modern plumbing. They go to the bathroom, and it goes right down into the river. And you have kids there swimming in the river, and right off of there, you have these pens where they're raising fish, tilapia and catfish, and it can be a very polluted environment to raise fish. So here we go. 7 most toxic fish. Imported shrimp. Number 1, imported shrimp. Shrimp that are imported from overseas are raised in farms, and the conditions are rife with contamination. Antibiotics, chemical residues, and cleaning the shrimp's containers, and even bits of insects make their way into the shrimp habitats and ultimately into their bodies. In addition, some imported shrimp has also shown to have E. coli contamination. To make things matters worse, less than 2% of shrimp coming into the U.S. has been inspected. So they're saying, this is what they're saying, look for domestic shrimp instead. Well, that's good, but I'm gonna sort of make my own twist on here and provide my professional experience and years of studying and being a seafood activist, because this is how I started my whole activism as a chef, was in seafood, specifically in seafood. I loved seafood because I thought I was eating healthy, and then I found out, wow, all the fish that I'm eating and serving in my restaurant has major health and environmental implications. Health, environmental, and labor implications. A lot of slave labor happens in the seafood industry, especially shrimp from Asia, from Thailand especially. So they're saying look for U.S. shrimp. I'm saying that's not good enough. Do not look for Gulf shrimp. Gulf shrimp are coming from the Gulf of Mexico. That's where it can be contaminated, between the dead zone, which nothing lives, and the BP oil spill. And the way that they harvest Gulf shrimp is they take and they rake the bottom of the ocean. They rake the bottom of the ocean, and what happens with that is you destroy all the habitat that's on the bottom. And it takes years and years for all that valuable coral and the sea life to actually come back and regenerate. So then you get the shrimp on the boat. This is not like the Forrest Gump movie, people, where you see the Forrest Gumpanies. They're dumping tons of shrimp on the boat. When the shrimp come up, there's all other things in it. So for every 1 pound of shrimp that makes it to your table on your plate, there can be like 9 pounds of bycatch, of fish that's you're not able to use. Because in bycatch, they're not there to specifically fish the bycatch. They're not there to process it. They don't have the equipment on board. So if they're landing sharks and other fish and other ground fish, they're not saying, oh, look at this, let's put 500 pounds worth of shrimp and we have 200 pounds of this and 100 pounds. No, they're like, okay, here's our shrimp, all the other fish, throw it over the boat. Or take it and feed it to salmon farms and things like that. But those, a lot of times when they make salmon pellets, they're actually going in and doing the same kind of fishing methods, trawling methods in these other undeveloped countries, and just taking everything out of the ocean and making salmon pellets out of that, or other kinds of salmon food. So here's the best American shrimp to serve. The little small tiny shrimp from the northern Atlantic, they're called salad shrimp, Maine salad shrimp. Those are typically trap or net caught, and there's almost zero bycatch, or a lot less bycatch issues. There's no habitat destruction, and it's a super clean product. The next shrimp, which is a little harder to get, which it's September 29th right now, they're probably in full season in September. They are in full season in September. Those are Alaskan sweet prawns, or Alaskan spot prawns. The closest shrimp you can get to taste like lobster. They're a little pricey, well worth it, and they're actually trap caught. So they drop a trap in just like a lobster. The shrimp swim in. There's no bycatch issues, and they pull it up, and you have the shrimp there, and there you go. And if there is a bycatch in there, if something else got into the cage, into the trap, it's alive still and it can be let go and swim away, as opposed to things that are trawled and raked on the bottom. By the time they get up to the top of the dock, they're suffocated to death and they're mangled, and they're not alive, or if they are alive, they're not going to make it. So bycatch is something that's very important to think of when you're talking about fish, as well as far as better choices. Because let's say the BP oil spill didn't happen. Let's say you were in a clean place in the Gulf of Mexico, shrimp trawling, and the shrimp is nice and pristine, you think, and this and that. And it's not packed with chemicals. You're still going to have issues with how the shrimp was caught, the habitat that it was caught, or the habitat destruction that was involved. Now, in southern Mexico, in Baja Mexico, on the west coast, the shrimp farms there have all been, I don't want to say they're all in great shape, but those shrimp farms are more modern, and the shrimp farms there are not nearly as bad as the shrimp farms coming out of Asia. The people that work on those Asian shrimp farms get sick. The amount of chemicals they use, the phosphates, all the stuff to pack all the stuff they have to treat the shrimp with while it's living, and all the stuff they pack the shrimp with to pack it and plump it up and send it over. Everything down the board is just crazy. Well, Baja Mexico, they have much stricter standards, and even going through South America, like Ecuador has much stricter standards than Asia. So if you're going to eat a farm-raised shrimp, I would say Baja Mexico, or my first choice would be Ecuador. Coming out of Ecuador, yes, farm raised out of Ecuador. The government doesn't allow hormones, antibiotics, and things like that. You can find shrimp that actually packed without chems and phosphates, and that are really a clean shrimp. That's what you want to look for. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and definitely pass this on.